Hi everybody, Diana here at Sew in Common. This is kind of just a little extra fun video. It's not something we normally do, but I thought that perhaps those of you that enjoy unboxing videos might enjoy this one because we're going to do some fabric unboxing. Um, and so this video is all about unboxing the Tula Pink DejaVu Nightshade collection. Now, for those of you like me that follow Tula Pink, you probably remember the original Nightshade collection. Well, this is her new DejaVu one, where she's kind of taken some of her older prints and collections and put them into kind of mini collections for us. That way, as she says, everyone can kind of get a chance to enjoy that fabric, because there are a lot of us that can I say hoard? I hate to say hoard because I use my Tula, but I buy it by the bolt and I keep it until it's the perfect time to use it. So, and now some people do that and then they cut it and they sell it for, a lot higher of a price. They're allowed to do that. That's their thing. But Tula wants to make sure that everybody who wants to try the Deja or the Nightshade can, and some of her other collections. So this is the Nightshade collection. It's just starting to come out in your shops. So I thought it might be fun for us to unbox my box that came. It came last night late, and I knew by who it came from. I knew exactly what it was. So we're going to unbox it together and take a look at it. And we'll talk a little bit about how I might use some of these fabrics when piecing my hoop blocks, and my blocks in the hoop, like the quatrefoil here, or the log cabin, or any of the others. And you all know that we have our free blocks of the month out on our website. I'll show you how to get that a little bit later in the video before we're done. And we'll talk about how some of these fabrics could be used in our new build a block set, our new build a quilt in the hoop basic block set that's available for purchase on our website, because you can use that set alone to make hundreds and hundreds of quilts. So, I mean, if you want to start quilting, that's the set you need, really. But we'll talk about more of that later as well. But for now, I want us just to flip over to my other camera and let's unbox this beautiful fabric, because if you're like me, maybe you've been waiting for it. Maybe you've been trying to decide what you want. I always just get the whole collection because I love it. There's several things I love about Tula Pink's collection. I love her artistry. She truly is an artist. She just works in fabric because her art is beautiful. If she did them as canvases, I'd have Tula canvases on my walls. That's how much I enjoy her art. Two, her color palettes just really speak to me. They don't speak to everybody, and that's okay. There might be one piece in the collection or two that you really do like, so you'll get to see these today, and maybe you'll see something, oh, hey, I really would like maybe to go to my local fabric shop and grab some of this while it's out. And I believe these DejaVu collections are going to be limited. So once they're gone, I think they're gone. So since they're just now coming out, if you want them, do get a hold of your local shop. And then, so I love her artistry. I love her colors. I love that she always gives us a couple of color ways. And the thing I love most outside the artistry itself is how I can take something from this collection and put it with something in another collection of hers, because they all can be intertwined. I have quilts that I've made that are all Tula Pink fabric, but they're from like 3 or 4 or 5 collections of hers. I just grab colors and things I need and put them together, and I love it. And so I believe the reason Tula did these DejaVu collections, which are mini collections, is because these are some of her fabrics from older collections that you can't purchase in shops anymore, but because some folks sell their fabric at much higher prices on the secondary market, Tula wanted to kind of make sure that everybody who wanted to try those originals got to do that. So she pulled some of the best parts of those collections and put them into these DejaVu mini collections. I know there's already been maybe 3, maybe 4 different DejaVu collections out on the market, but the Nightshade one, and I've been looking forward to this Nightshade one because I'm making myself a quilt that is all the Tula Pink portrait women. So there's portrait girls in the Nightshade. There's the DeLuna sisters, which I have a totally cool story about that collection that nobody knows, but I have, or I think she maybe calls them Luna, but I have 3 friends. They are sisters and their last name is DeLuna. And so I made all of them something for Christmas when that collection originally came out. And each one of them, there were 3 portrait girls in there. All 3 of those, each one of the girls got their own portrait piece. And it just so happened that the 3 matched like the personalities of my friends. So I love that collection. So I'm making myself a quilt with those portrait pieces. Elizabeth, I have 1 big square of Elizabeth that's going to be in my quilt. And so I've been waiting for these to come because these have some smaller portrait pieces in there that I can scatter throughout my own quilt as well. It's going to just kind of be a fun quilt that I make just for me. I'm not going to really do anything on it online. It's just something I've wanted to do. So I've really been waiting for this collection. All right, enough of that. Let me flip over to my other camera. And here's my box. Now, I live in a rural area outside of Chicago. And so I don't have shops close to me. All my shops are at least 2 hours away. So I order a lot of my fabric when I need it online. And I'll just say right now, I order through the Fat Quarter shop. I am not being paid or supported or given free product or anything to mention Fat Quarter shop or Tula Pink. This is just something, this is just where I happen to get this. And of course I love Tula Pink, so I just wanted to bring it to you. I thought it would be fun. So I went ahead and sliced it open because sometimes I end up cutting myself when I slice open boxes. And you all have already seen me cut myself on screen once this year. You don't need to see it again. So let's go ahead and open up the box. And I really love how Fat Quarter Shop sends their fabric because let's take out the little packing paper. They always put it wrapped in plastic. And they always have some sort of a ribbon over it. I love that. So this is my DejaVu 1 yard bundle. Let me see. Oh, there we go. There's the 1 yard bundle. We're going to open this up. And this is my DejaVu Nightshade Fat Quarter bundle. I bought 1 of each because I always buy at least a yard of everything. Now I know I'm going to go through here and pick a couple of these out, and I'm going to go back online and order about 5 yards of each because I know I'll want them for like a backing or something. We'll look and see what I choose there. And I love how Fat Quarter Shop gives you a little sticker here that tells you what is in this. So why don't we go ahead, and because these are mini collections, we don't have a bazillion of them to go through. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them, I believe is how many are in the collection. So this Fat Quarter bundle came in this little bag. I love that. And I will keep this in here, but open so it gets air until I use it, just so I know exactly what it is. So these are my Fat Quarters. Oh, I see how they've done it. So I kind of like how they have folded this. I'm going to do it like this so that you can see each and every one of these. Let's undo this and then we can look at all of it. So this is the first one. Now this fabric, oh my gosh, this black with the diamond lattice in it, that's a great backing fabric. I really love that. It would be a great background fabric. For sure, this would be great in your half square triangles or as your squares, anything like that. Now, when I refold these, I'm going to kind of refold them how I fold my half square or my Fat Quarters, just like that. And I will end up ironing these and stuff. I do not pre-shrink any of my Tula fabric. Here's the next one. Now this is definitely a floral, but I like this because this is a nice medium-sized floral. It isn't one of her huge florals. she could easily have had a big, huge floral for this, but I love this. Again, a beautiful backing fabric. I would love this as a backing. I would also love this just cut up into my squares. I like this because you've got the little spider webs, you've got the little skull and crossbones. What I like about Tula's fabric is I like to look into it and see what kind of goodies are in here, like the moon and the star, the skull and the crossbones. I like the little lightning here. There's another one there. And amongst all of this beautiful floral print, I like she's got a smaller print here. And I like how she just puts in greenery. They're not just flowers on there. There's the greenery, everything. It makes it look really lush. And this one, okay, I've got an end on here for this. This is called Spider Blossom. This is from the Nightshade, DejaVu. This is called Spider Blossom. And if you want the number, it's PWTP206. I don't know that I'll have that information on every piece, but when I do have it, I'll tell it to you. That is Spider Blossom. I love it. Now, I really can't stand spiders, but I really love this. Now, here's something else I want to mention. A lot of folks would say, well, how would you cut this fabric up? To be honest, I just cut it. I wouldn't think about, oh, I just want a fussy cut or something. Now, if I wanted to use parts of it intentionally as a fussy cut piece for, say, a raw edge applique or something, then yes, I would fussy cut. But I would use this the way I would use any other small print. I would just cut it and use it. And then I would get that beautiful mixture of color throughout my entire quilt. And that's how I work with any larger, medium to larger print, is I just cut them. I don't worry about them. There's so many different colors in here. Like I said, I could pick any of these colors from her solids as background, and it would go with this no matter how I cut it, because they all go together. So I don't worry about that so much. Now, here are our Nightshade sisters. I know they might not be called Nightshade sisters. They might be called something else. I know there's a specific name, but here they are. Here's our girl with the green hat. And, oh, in fact, like Belladonna and something, they have specific names. I should have looked that up and I forgot. In fact, let me adjust my camera here so you can see this is upside down. Let me adjust. There we go. Now you can see these pretty girls. I love these. Now, I have to say, her with the raven is my favorite. My husband used to fly for the Black Ravens in the U.S. Navy, and his team where he works now, he calls them the Ravens, and I am Mrs. Raven, so I love it. That's kind of my self-portrait, I think, when I think of this one. But I love all of these. So this is one, and this is one. There's three of them. There's three independent girls on here. And yeah, I know they all have names. I would have to look them up though. But again, in here, there are these little extras, like the skull and crossbones is in here. I love how they're all framed. Now, if I wanted to do one of these as a fussy cut, easy to do. I could fussy cut it in small, just around the oval in the middle with the picture, or I could do it out here with the frame. There's lots you could do with that. And because each girl has different coloring in her, like the greens here and those kind of a periwinkle blues, and the fuchsia in her hair and the peach and the teal and all of that, you can really mix those in. See how they go with all the different colors? Yeah, love that. Alrighty, this is by far my favorite, and this is one of the ones I know I will buy in more quantity, because I know that I want to do some additional gifts. I want to do something in a quilt for my teenage niece for the holidays, and I want to put some of these girls in there for her. Alrighty, so here, this one is called Mini Spider Blossom PWTP211. That's the number, Mini Spider Blossom. So it's like this one, except as you can see, it's very color specific. So it's like these colors from the ones with the girls. I love that. The lighter pinky purple, the blue. But again, in here, I thought I saw them. There's the mini little bitty skull and crossbones. Many, many, many moon and star. Many, many, many little lightning bolts. So I love those. And your little mini spider webs. So I love this. This would be really pretty, I think, as a background or a backing, but a background fabric. I would certainly use that for this one. This would also be nice in your quarter square triangles. I wouldn't have any problem. Now, here's the one I adore this so much. Here are our girls in their full size. Now, in a fat quarter, it looks like you might, well, on this one, let me see it so you can get it here. It's cut a little short here, but I would just cut off a little bit of that, and I would still, that's still a full portrait. So you're getting a full portrait pretty much of two of the girls and a partial portrait of a third on here. That's in the fat quarter. Now I know when it gets over to the full-on yardage, you'll get full pieces of each. But look, aren't they fantastic? I just love them. I know, I'm pretty sure one of these is called Belladonna. Might be her. I really have to look. And of course, I don't have the salvage that has the information on this one. But I tell you what, in the description, I'll try to get all of that information and put it in the description on this video so that you have that information if you want it. Okay? I'll do my best to put all of that in there for you guys. Now, here is, oh, this is gorgeous. This, do you see what it is? This is a bird. I'm sure it has a name, but I don't have a salvage. I will look all of that up for the description though. But look at, isn't it gorgeous? Now that is something I might definitely think about fussy cutting for something as an applique. That would be a big, beautiful applique on a quilt, on a tote. I will tell you that I have a sun rain hat that I made for myself maybe 5 years ago. 4 years ago, maybe, with some of her larger bird prints in it, and it turned out gorgeous. But I love this. I love this deep fuchsia color with the black, and it's not a true black. It's kind of her blacky gray color that she likes so much. I mean, I call it black, but I think it's not a super duper dark black. It's kind of that grayish black that she uses. Oh, I love it. And it's got the diamond lattice as the background to it, which is reminiscent back to that fabric. Cool. I love how this goes together. Now, clouds and moons, and I'm sure this has a name too, but clouds and moons in the pink. So here we have the moon, here we have lightning, stars, swirly clouds. To me, this is almost like a nebula looking thing. Ooh, I think that's the name of one of the girls, is Nebula. I think that's it. I could be wrong, but I think that's it. Oh, on my yardage, my full yardage, we might get that information too. We'll see. But I love this. I love the pink and the purple and the kind of a creamy white and this peachy color in here. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. And I always love keeping fat quarter selections of hers around because I'll cut them up and use them for so many things. And then here is all the apothecary jars. Let me turn this one around so you can see it. The big apothecary jar with the lightning bolt. So I love how she has this repeating theme. I love this one where the butterflies are coming out. And here's our skull and crossbone. Here's another one with the butterflies. So this one is kind of like Tula does all of the apothecary jars in all of the colors. Okay, this one, yeah, this one's called Apothecary PWTP209. For this one is the SKU number on here. But I love it how she does all of the jars in all of the colors. So we have the lime green, into the teal, into the periwinkle, and the purples, and the fuchsia, and keeps repeating there. And here we're coming into the peaches, the peachy pinks, and we just keep repeating. I love that. So you get a little bit of all the color on this lovely light pinkish background. So that is the 8 pieces in the collection in fat quarter size. Okay. So if you're new to Tula, or if you just want to give it a dip your toe in a little bit, this 8-piece Tula fat quarter set of the DejaVu Nightshade would be a great place to start. Now, Tula's fabrics are for free spirit. Some of you may know, some of you may not know. Let me grab something right here to open up. Well, hang on. Dropped it on the floor. To open up, because this is sealed. This isn't a bag, so I have to kind of open that a little. So this is my 1 yard bundle, and I just want to look on here to see if we've got names. Okay, let me get mine. I always keep a pair of scissors right here close by, an old pair that I can just snip anything with. They're not my good fabric scissors. There we go. And I can slip that off. We can throw that away. Now here again is the blackened lattice. Now let me see if I have information on here. This is called Fishnet. So I've been calling it a diamond lattice. She calls it a fishnet. And of course it's a fishnet. I should have known that. It's a fishnet. PWTP212 is the SKU on it. And I love it. It's a little skull and crossbones that are the color swatch on the salvage. I love that. Love it, love it. I save all the salvages from my Tula Pink. I know you're wondering a little bit about me, right? Here is the Spider Blossom, the larger version, which I still consider this kind of a medium floral, because you can get florals where the florals are huge. So I consider this more of a medium floral, but it is PWTP206 Spider Blossom. Beautiful. That's that one in the full yard. And here are our mini portraits. Let's get the name on this one for us. Oh, of course. That's what's called. Now that I'm seeing these, I'm remembering. This is the mini Coven. These ladies are the Coven. I love that. PWTP210. I'm not into the occult. I mean, I'm not like into it, but I love the name she gives them. Of course, this is the Coven. Of course it is. There's nothing wrong with being a coven, I think. But here you get all the different girls. Of course, their name. So I think one of these is Nebula. And I'll have to look up the other 2 names. I do apologize. But that's this one. And here we have this one. And did we have a name? This is the mini Spider Blossom. PWTP211 is the SKU. Yeah, that would be a beautiful backing. It really would. I think that would be lovely. And then here is our large Coven with our full portraits. Let me get the information off the salvage. Come on. There we go. So this one is just called Coven. PWTP205. Now let's take a look at these girls. That's the full one. Isn't it pretty? Love it. Here is the other one. And I like to think of these girls as sisters. They might not be, but I like to think of them that way because it looks like we have an older sister and a kind of a medium-aged sister and a younger sister here. Let me turn it around so you can see it better. But you're going to get full-size portraits of each one of these in this fabric. So if you wanted to do something, you can. And I love this. So in the quilt I'm making for myself, I have this original Nightshade fabric, which is a little bit, the colorway is a tiny bit different. But this colorway goes so well with some of the other stuff. I'm going to cut up this one. I can't bring myself to cut up the original Nightshade fabric for the Coven piece. I can't. So I'm going to be using this portraiture stuff for that one, for my own quilt that I was telling you about. And I know that I will end up ordering some more of that too. I know I will. And then here is this one. I'm dying to find out what the name of this. Oh, this is called Raven Lace, PWTP207. So that was this one. These are indeed the ravens. Perfect. This is so perfect for me. So I have to put that on something as Mrs. Raven, right? Of course. And I love the color. And then this one that I called the clouds, and this one really looks like the nebula. This is called Storm Clouds, folks. PWTP208, Storm Clouds. I really think it looks like a nebula to me with the moon and everything, but I see the storm with the lightning bolts and all of that. And then here's our Apothecary that I showed you before, PWTP209. And I'll list these again in the description so that you all can see them, but let's turn this one around. There we go. Now, I would use this definitely for backing, but I would use this in my quilt. I would cut this, if I were going to cut this into strips for, let's say, the log cabin, I would definitely cut my strips like this. Would it be directional? Yes, it would be directional, but I don't worry about direction so much. Because if I'm looking at this straight on the way it is now, this is all upside down to me. If I'm looking at it this way from the side, they're all laying on their side. So the direction thing I don't get caught up in, because depending on where I'm looking at it from, the direction might not make sense regardless. So if I wanted this to be in the direction as I see it facing it, then I would put it this way. But if I were looking at it from the other direction, it would all be upside down anyway. So I don't worry about the direction stuff. I just cut it and use it as I feel it works in with my quilt. Alrighty. Now I will go back to our mini Coven. Let's grab this one. Here we go. Because these, again, would be great to be cut out for center blocks. Now, we do 5 by 5 inch blocks in our basic block set. So let's get about 1/2 inch out from each side here. So we'd have enough for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's just measure from edge to edge, from the edge of her frame to the edge of her frame. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just slightly more than 4.5. I could squeeze that and say 4.5 from edge to edge this way. So I could do a 5-inch finished block and still get it inside to side. Now she's longer this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 6 inches this way. Could I cut off 1/2 inch on each side here and still use that as a center block? I sure would. So I would measure this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my 5 inches. I would measure this out. So I took 1/2 inch off from down here and 1/2 inch from here and measured the 5 inches across. And I would definitely use that as a square piece. And perhaps I will do that to show you what I mean in another video. I'll just do one and I'll show you what it ends up looking like, because sometimes when these frames or pieces that you want to use in the center of a block are a little off-sized, there are ways that you can figure out how to use them. I could even cut this down to just a little past her hat and a little past here and use it even in a smaller piece. And I certainly would. If I wanted these girls in my piece, I would find a way to get them in there and still see her face, right? And her hair. Cute little patch. I love it. So I would certainly find a way to use those, but I think you could easily use this as a 5 in your 5 by 5 squares that are in the basic set. Absolutely. Okie doke. All right, let's put all of this back together. All right, folks, that is the unboxing of the Tula Pink DejaVu Nightshade collection. Isn't it gorgeous? Aren't the colors beautiful? Now, this whole idea of the nightshade and the coven and all, if that's not your thing, don't think about it like that. It's just beautiful. It's fun. It would be fun if you wanted to do a Halloween quilt. I would put it in any quilt. I don't think of it that way. I just think it's fun and it's quirky, you know? So that's probably another thing I like about Tula's things. Even her animal prints and all, they all just have a little bit of quirk to them, and I love that. Like the raven one in here, the raven lace. That's perfect. That's so perfect. I love that. And on the fishnet, that's the background, the fishnet, which is like the black and white fishnet I showed you. I would love to, as a scientist in my other life, I would love to hook her brain up to a PET scan, scan it while she's doing her creation and her designing, because I suspect there are very specific regions of her brain that would just light up like a Christmas tree, and that kind of geeky stuff is my thing. So anyway, please don't tell Tula I ever said that. I have had the joy and pleasure of meeting Tula. I should have had my picture ready. I still have the picture of us where we met and all many years ago when I was very ill. I did not look like this. But boy, it was such a pleasure to meet her. I wasn't bedridden or anything. I just was a little paler. I could have been one of those Coven sisters for sure. Yeah, it was a pleasure to meet her. It was a very last minute thing on a Sunday. My husband took me to meet her. Technically, there were no tickets left, but the owner of the shop let me slip in during the Q&A upstairs and get to have a picture with her and all. It was such great fun. But she's a wonderful person. She's a very talented. If this is not your Tula collection, there's one out there that certainly could be, because I love her stuff. If you're not wild about any of the prints, this one, the fishnet, is a great black and white fabric to have in your collection for filling whatever role, a small kind of print that reads as solid. That's one of those. Backing, background, anything like that. This is a great one to have. Okay. I still think this is a beautiful one to have, because all these little pieces in here aren't what jumps out at you. It's the beautiful floral that jumps out at you. I really do love the raven lace. The clouds with the pink and the moon and the stars and the little lightning bolts. I love that. That would be great in a quilt for a young person who you're doing like a pink bedroom on doing in their quilt. This looks really kind of super bright in this camera. Maybe you saw it under my other camera better. It's not as vibrant pink. I mean, it's bright, but it's not quite the way you're seeing it. My camera here I'm showing to you is showing more purple. It is really a true pinky pink. It's a Tula Pink. I wonder, I have never found out if she has a pink that she calls Tula. The color is called Tula and is pink. I don't know. That would be cute if she did, though, I think. All right, folks, that is the DejaVu Nightshade collection. I hope you had fun. Like I said, we don't do unboxings like this really hardly ever, but I thought it would be fun to bring that to you. You might be just enjoying your Saturday, trying to stay inside and staying cool. It was 107 or 8 here in our part of Illinois yesterday. Got up to 115 somewhere. That is unheard of in this state. I was born and raised here. I lived away from here for several decades, but that's unheard of in this state. So I know it's this hot or hotter in other parts of the country. So please stay inside. Stay hydrated, drink your water, drink your iced tea, whatever you want. Stay hydrated, because the quickest way to have a trip to the ER is to get dehydrated on one of these hot summer days. But if you're staying in, you just want something fun and quirky to watch, then I hope this video did the trick for you. Again, I was telling you about our Build a Quilt in the Hoop Block Basic Set 1. Let me explain what that is briefly, please. It is our new collection that gives you the half square triangle, the quarter square triangle, and the square, all made in the hoop of your embroidery machine. You can kind of see over here, I'm working on some right now. And you get 4 sizes. You get a finished 2-inch, 3-inch, 4-inch, and 5-inch in each one of those. You get a full how-to video that is a private video for only you to watch that is available. You get full written instructions. You get our brand new coloring sheets. Color those in, figure out your fabric colors before you go cut this beautiful fabric. That kills me, is when I think I know what I want to do and things are going to work, and I go and cut. This is all I've got is my fat quarter, and I've cut it, and then I find out, oh man, did I mess up? So the coloring sheets are meant to help you keep that from happening, and they're just kind of fun. Maybe you want to sit around and do some coloring. Maybe you want to get a grandchild into the idea of quilting. Sit around with some coloring sheets and crayons and just color them and play, and then say, you know, we could make this on my machine in fabric. Do you want to do that? That's an easy way to hook them into quilting. But you can get this set, all the written instructions, everything. You get your cut lists, all of that at our website, sewincommon.com. You can also get our free patterns there. And we have tons of them. All of our blocks of the month. We have some other free patterns. We have some other single block patterns for sale. So please go check that out. My blog is over there. I'm trying to be better about putting blog posts out, writing and digitizing, videoing it. I'm still kind of, even after almost 9 months now, trying to get that into a really good schedule for myself. But the blog is over there. Videos are over there. All kinds of good stuff. So go check that out, please. Please, if you like this video or any of our other videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We really are growing, and I love having each and every one of you as subscribers. It is my way of hopefully sharing my love of this art form with all of you. And I know there are so many of you out there that have either been quilters forever, like me, I've been quilting over 50 years, that have hand issues now. Well, piecing and quilting on your embroidery machine takes a lot of that stress away. There are some of you, I know there are some of you viewers out there that are much younger than me. You'd be like my daughter's age, and you're like, hey, we kind of like this idea. Quilting can be cool and fun, because you don't have to do older, more traditional quilts. You can do modern quilting, art quilting, whatever you want. But you're like, you know, I think I would kind of like to do it on an embroidery machine. That's kind of a newer technique, right? Love that quilting keeps evolving with our techniques. So I did it for all of you. I did it for those of you who said, you know, I've tried quilting. I can't get that 1/4 inch thing to work. I'm just not good at it. You don't have to worry about any of that when you piece on your embroidery machine, because all of that is built in to the embroidery design that you use for your piecing. So you don't have to worry about it. That's kind of cool, right? Makes it fun. So please subscribe to our channel. Click the little bell for notifications. You can set it to get notified from all the content, or personalize it to set it for the content that you want to get notified about. But we would love to have you as part of our group for that. And I love hearing from you, so please comment below. So for today's video, if you love Tula, comment and let me know. If you've never heard of Tula Pink and you think her stuff is kind of cool and groovy, comment below. Any kind of question you want to ask me, of course you can. If you have questions and you feel a little shy about asking publicly, you can always send me an email at support@sewincommon.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Typically just within maybe an hour or so. On weekends, it might be overnight. And if you're in another part of the world, because I know we have a big international following, Thank you all so much. I love that I have fellow quilting people, sisters and brothers all over the world. I love it. And so it might be like an overnight thing because of our time difference, but I will get back with you absolutely soon as possible. Okay. So you can drop me a note there. You can also drop pictures at our at our Facebook page, which is called So Uncommon. And check that out. And our Instagram is also So Uncommon. So if you like any of those social media things, you can check us out there too. All right, everybody, here's what I tell you every single time. And I'll tell you today too, because we just looked at a bunch of beautiful fabric that we can use to sew life beautiful. Until next time, everybody, have fun and keep quilting. Bye for now.